Hello, my 827 tribe. My name is Alethea, and thank you so much for stopping by my channel. All of my readings are to walk in the journey of healing, so that's what my readings are generally about. Some of them would be uncomfortable, some of them would be straight to the point. But I want us to grow together. This channel is focused on the audience of individuals that really want to try to work on themselves. This is not for anyone who is trying to get a popcorn result. Anyway, so the purpose of this reading today is focusing on releasing past traumas from betrayal, relationships, bullying that has caused you to believe that you are not good enough. I also want to tap in specifically because I know I'm going through this, so I wonder if you are too. For those that have done the work and you recognize that what has been done to you was not your fault, but yet you still have a hard time letting it go, and it bleeds into your creativity, it bleeds into your relationships. So that's what we're going to focus on today. Okay? All right. God, thank you so much for this opportunity to use my gift as we are going through this healing journey together. What messages do you have for us as a collective, as far as how to release those mental strongholds, how to release the pain from the past? How do we understand that we are really, it is okay to be who we are? Teach us to know that it is okay to breathe because we are safe. All right. I wanted to open the windows, or not open the window, but I wanted to open the blinds. Unfortunately, I don't have a screen, and I've been waiting for a while for them to replace the screen so that I can breathe. But, you know. Anyways, I really hope that everyone is doing okay today. Most importantly, I want you to understand how loved you are. And that is a journey within itself. Sometimes. Okay. So the first card is card number 39, and it says, you are the truth seeker, awakening, actualizing, and transcending. How can you invite more grace to guide you? Okay, that's the first card. The second card was in reverse, but it says, express yourself creativity. I cannot talk today. This retrograde, it's almost done. Thank goodness. Okay. Express yourself creatively. Start something new. What creative pursuit do you feel drawn to? So for some of you, the past could be holding you back. You might have some amazing ideas that you want to start, but you're thinking, well, maybe, you know, if I put this out there, I'm going to be overlooked, or it's not going to hit the way that I imagine it. Okay. And then the third card is card number 18, and it says, your purpose is personal expansion. How can you be more intentional with your choices and live with more purpose? So I love the fact that these cards are not really Answering the question is giving us a question for us to ponder on. Because at the end of the day, there is a freaking fruit fly up in here and it's driving me nuts. The universe is mental. I've learned that from Kendrick Lamar. I adore him because he has some very powerful messages. But he says it a lot. The universe is mental. And when you think about it, it really is. And we've heard it growing up. You can do anything that you set your mind to. Right? So it's having the courage to release the comfort of these strongholds and choosing to live for ourselves again and to do it with intention and with purpose. The overall energy is card number 37, and it says, rise above it. It is not yours to carry. You are an empath. How can you detach from the drama? Oftentimes, we feel stuck. Some of us may not be aware of how much of a sponge we are. Sometimes we carry someone else's projections and we confuse it with our own. But those that are quite aware of what is going on in their circumstances, if you can smell BS from a mile away, then it is advised to refrain from going in that area because it's going to affect you one way or another. Thinking about the things that was said to you or done to you in the past. They were absolutely horrible. And the goal here is to rise above that, look at the past one last time, and say, I've been holding on to you for far too long. Yes, these things were done to me. Yes, these things were said to me. But take it upon yourself to choose you in that moment. Defend yourself at that moment against your ego and those memories. Because at this point, we're fighting air. There is no Goliath. So it's okay for us to put the weapons down. It is okay for us to seek out new plans and ideas. It is okay for us to dance. We have to understand that these individuals that have done these things in the past have served their purpose. And we also need to understand the true meaning of hurt people hurt people. There is something that was going on in their dynamic where they felt like they had to come to you to take out their nonsense, to project their nonsense onto you. Because they didn't have the courage to go and seek therapy. You were the closest thing that showed them compassion, comfort, and for whatever reason they was angry with that. Because of the fact that it was you that was doing it. It wasn't so much of what you were doing for them. It was because it was you. Meaning, they could have had somebody in mind that they wanted to be closer to them, intimate towards them. But it was you that stepped up. So they are rejecting the person that's offering it, but at the same time, you know, appreciating it at the same time. So, I don't even feel like I need to look at the book. But if I need to, I will. But as of right now, I'm just going to the fact that it calls out the fact that you are someone that you might have Sagittarius somewhere in your birth chart, but you thrive off of learning how people function. You want to learn more about yourself. So you're definitely into, tarot, spirituality, maybe even religion. You probably sit back and you enjoy watching YouTube videos talking about, I don't know, like the emeralds tablets and, esoteric type subjects to kind of get a feel of who you are. And I feel like what this is saying with this first card is that you are now awakening. God, the universe, however you see it, was like, you know what? It's time for you to wake up. You've been dormant for so long. And a lot of it could have been because you felt fatigue from the depression and the stress. So I feel like the universe is deliberately pushing these energies upon you, kind of forcing you to wake up by watching a video. Or maybe there is a restlessness inside of your soul. So maybe you will consult the tarot cards and maybe you're getting cards that is saying, that you're in your head too much, and the reason why these things aren't working out for you is because you keep holding on to the past. Some of you might be getting the Four of Pentacles. Some of you might be getting the Nine of Swords, the Eight of Swords, the Five of Cups. But that's okay. We got to start somewhere, right? So I think overall, this is asking for you to decide to choose you. It's no longer about them. And I heard something yesterday, and this person said, fall in love with your future. And I was thinking to myself, how is it possible to fall in love with your future when tomorrow isn't promised? I didn't realize that I was saying that in lack because of the fact that I was focusing so much on what I could not see in front of me. I didn't see a lot of the things that I wanted in front of me. So I was starting to believe maybe it's not meant for me. Maybe, my goals and my dreams are going to fall away just like everything else in my life has. But that wasn't the case. We have to start being our own personal cheerleader and standing in top-notch confidence. Because I think the word faith has been overused and abused. And the reason why I say abused is because of the fact that it is used by individuals that I believe will spiritually, emotionally bypass what you're going through. Oh, okay, well, I'm sorry that happened, but just have faith. Everything's going to work out. Nobody wants to hear that when they're going through things. You know what I mean? So I try not to use that as much because I cannot gauge where you are in your spiritual journey. And I don't want to offend anyone by saying something like that. But I will say, eventually it'll be time for you to be confident in your abilities. The universe is mental, so a lot of these things are not going to happen until you initiate the action. When you start doing the thing. And doing it with intention. Right? Today I woke up and I was like, you know what? I'm going to hug myself. I'm going to hug myself and I'm going to rock back and forth. And I felt good doing that. Instead of feeling lonely, I can boost myself up I can hype myself up to understand that I believe in this woman that I am, constantly involving into. So my first goal was accomplished. I successfully created something new. I don't just pop up out the bloom like, you know what? Oh, I love you. I didn't do that. But I'm starting to do that. I'm teaching my nervous system that she's safe. It starts with us. The universe is mental, right? I'm going to pause this video so that I can turn on the fan because it is smoldering in here. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I apologize. All right, so let's go ahead and tap into this energy. All right, God, thank you so much for that message. Can you provide more insight to help us to understand why these cards are here? Because, sometimes spiritual lingo can be a little over the top. It's like, what do you mean? Especially when you've consumed so much, negative insight about your abilities to do anything. It's going to be hard to interpret what that message means. But, there's nothing wrong with asking questions. You can get on, Gemini. Gemini is my girl. Because of the fact that, whenever I have questions about things, due to the studious energy in me, she breaks it down in a way, I ask her to break it down in a way that I can understand it. So if there's anything that I say and you're curious about what that might mean, go ahead and pause the video and talk to Gemini or whomever could be nearby to get an understanding of what that might mean, if I'm not articulating it well enough. Hold on, let me make sure. They're all equally strong. Well, okay, we'll go right there. Okay. So we have the Four of Cups here. That's another card that I'm pretty sure that you have recognized in your own personal readings. Or if you've watched a general reading, you've seen this. So you are a truth seeker, awakening, actualizing, and transcending. How can you invite more grace to guide you? The first way that you could do this, is what I'm getting, is to stop looking at those cups. Those cups were maybe 3 major situations where you felt deeply hurt, deeply betrayed. Or maybe it was a traumatic, situation. I mean, all situations that are, that might be betraying in some kind, it could be traumatic, you know what I mean? But I was thinking more on like the physical aspect, like for me, I had a stroke 5 years ago. So for a long time, I fell into this deep depression because I missed the person that I once was. And I had to learn, and I'm still learning, to accept this newer version of me. Yeah, I might have some hang-ups, but that does not mean that I have to stop dreaming. It is okay to daydream. It is okay to manifest or even visualize these things that we would love to happen. These aren't just fleeting thoughts. So I said all that to say that, as you can see, there is a cup behind this tree. And she can feel its presence. But she's so consumed with the lack, the mentality of lack, boredom, pessimism, because she did not get the satisfaction that she was hoping for from the the previous cards. So now here comes this card. And it's almost like she is willing to denounce this too without taking the time to really look at this cup to see that it is completely different than the others. You can see the bowls. And she's just glancing like, okay, here comes another fake offer or a fake friend, fake relationship. But no, this is legit. So it's asking for you to stop staring at these bowls because there's nothing in them. And emotionally, you're holding on to it. And it's making you angry because you're like, I can't believe that this happened. Why did you do this to me? God is asking for you to stop asking why this happened and just accept it. See these people or this situation for what it is. Thank you for showing me who you were. I now appreciate the fact that you showed me this because now I know that I don't want you coming with me once I receive, or not even once, but I don't want you coming with me, basically. You're not allowed to come with me. Thank you for showing me who you are because you're telling me that you don't deserve to come with me. And I'm seeing that you don't deserve to come with me and celebrate me and whatever happens for me. The next card we have is the Nurturer of Swords, and this is the Queen of Swords. So the thing with the Queen of Swords, she doesn't have time for emotions. She is all about 100% facts. And I feel like the universe is saying, because we're talking about transcending, right? It's about elevation and, like it says, awakening. What am I trying to say? Because I just lost it. Okay. I feel like the Nurturer of Swords is saying it's time for you to move in your truth. When I try to do videos, I try to be all of the queens, to be honest with you. Mostly the Queen of Wands. But I feel like for you, this is saying that you were having a hard time because how can you express your truth in your creativity? You move with intention, which is what this card is saying right here. So the question again is, what creative pursuits do you feel drawn to? You want something that's going to allow you to stand in your truth and your power. Something that's not going to dim your intellect per se. Not saying that your emotions don't matter, they do. But when we're dealing with the Queen of Swords, it's all about logic, law. Maybe you're wanting to be an advocate, and this is something that you've been sitting on for a long time. Or if that is too expensive or whatever the case may be, then maybe starting a podcast to become an advocate for individuals that have gone through the same thing that you've gone through. Being a voice for them is basically what this is saying. If you're drawn to that, the time is now. And understand that when you do this, that people-pleasing aspect that a lot of us suffer from, because we want to make sure that, our videos are very catchy to grasp with the person. Let me tell you something. There is a podcaster by the name of Andy Sigmore, I believe, and he is responsible for Popcorn Planet. And so he was testing out this new AI feature that was on YouTube. And basically, he was asking what topics can he work on to draw his viewers in. And basically, long story short, it was telling him that he was too honest. That he needed to basically be messy and provide clickbait, because that's what they thrive off of. There are so many individuals out here that are faking the funk. We see it all the time. There might be someone that has rubbed you the wrong way, made you feel like you were beneath them, but you see that they're just as fake as they come. But a lot of people thrive off of that. Either one, because they're fake themselves, or about to say B. Two, because they're so good at masking who they are that they're just fooling people. But you can see straight through that. But what I do know is that this was meant to break you open, to speak your truth, to shine your light, because there are people out here that needs you. So it says your purpose is personal expansion. How can you be more intentional with the choices and live with more purpose? The Three of Swords. The Three of Swords in the upright, yes, it can talk about heartbreak, sorrow, betrayal, backstabbing, third party energy, or in some cases, separation of some kind. But the reverse of this is healing. And I feel that what this is saying is that once you transmute that pain and become more intentional for yourself, because you was the one that got hurt, right? The universe is mental. You are part of that universe. There is a healing attribute by taking that pain and showing your inner child and yourself what you're going to do and what you can do. You're not going to let somebody try to tell you what you can and can't do. So you're going to move with intention, because that pain is going to become fuel. That's going to drive that purpose. The more haters you have, that's why they say, if you don't have haters, then you're doing something wrong. Your goal is to show them how it's done. And it's not so much of, like, look what I can do. It's not that. It's you tapping into your power. Because you chose to move forward. You chose life for yourself. You're not looking back. We don't care about what's going on back there. There's nothing back there. And you're moving forward. This is giving me Six of Swords energy. Taking everything that you've learned and moving forward, moving out of the storm into calm waters. And staying consistent on, once the water gets a little turbulent from time to time, you don't get scared and want to jump out the boat. Because on the other side is paradise for you. Overall energy, we have death. And so what is this? It says rise above it. It's not yours to carry. You are an empath. How can you detach from the drama? This is saying it as clear as day. Dead it. Especially if this has been going on for a while. If this is an ongoing situation, it is time to pull the cords, pump the brakes. You've served your purpose. They've served their purpose. There is nothing more that you need to say to these people or to this job or whatever the case may be. A bad habit, whatever. And I understand people go to alcohol, people go to cigarettes, whatever, but to really step into your power is by looking at those things and saying that you do not hold reign over me. The universe is mental. That cigarette, that alcohol is just a design to keep you stuck. But yes, it's time to dead the situation. And I feel like it is inevitable. It's going to happen anyways. Because I don't think that the universe is playing around with y'all. Or me. We've been sitting in this for far too long. And the reason why that is because there's something greater for us. It's not so much of, okay, well, when is it going to happen? What is it? No. It's about having that confidence that you deserve that. And falling in love with the future. Like I heard on the television. Fall in love with your future with intention. Don't let your heartbreak stop you. If anything, let that empower you. Because just think, this person had to go through all these hoops. Had to get all these people to join forces with them to make you look bad. They couldn't do it by themselves. So they had to go with other people. Go towards other people to create a lie. Just to stop you in your tracks because they did not like how you were moving. And you may not have even done anything to them. It's just the way that you was moving, the way you talk, the way you look. At least they showed you. They can't come with you. We refuse. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not worth it. It is not worth it. So let's go ahead and continue here. You know, it was very interesting because yesterday I was watching healing alchemist or alchemy. And her name is Oa. And she had this video up talking about this particular thing. That's one of the main reasons why I was inspired to do this reading. But what happened later really set the tone for me. So I went to the market to grab some things for dinner. And I bumped into one of my bullies. And she was like the head honcho. You know what I mean? This woman put me through the ringer. And she was asking me if I went to the class reunion, and I said no. So I kind of just keep to myself. And she was like, yeah, you were always like that. You were always quiet. And something within me just decided to just say it right then and there. I was like, but you were an asshole. Told her straight up. I was like, you bullied me. And I don't know if it was her father that was right there, or if it was a cousin, maybe husband, I don't know. But he was like, yo, she bullies me too. I said, no, she bullied me. And she was quick. She was like, no, I wasn't. She was like, my thing was that I was just trying to teach you how to defend yourself. And I'm over here going through all these memories of how she would say, oh my God, you're ugly. She took this medicine, or not this medicine, but this makeup, and intentionally, because she was like, oh, I want to do your makeup. So I thought that she was just, you know, being genuine, because I've seen her do other people's makeup before and it looked beautiful. She made me look like a whole 100% clown. I remember I told someone that I thought that she was a butthole, and they went back and told her, and she made me apologize. Like, in this, I was in middle school at this time. I was so timid. I was so petrified of her. So, like I said, going back, and I'm like, no. I said, that's not how I remember it. And so she stops trying to gaslight me. And she's like, okay. She's like, I'm sorry. She's like, I don't want to have that conscience, that guilty conscience, because I want... She said, I want to clear the slate because of the fact that I don't want God to be mad at me, and I don't want to go to hell for anything that I've done to someone. And I rolled my eyes at her, and she's like, don't be rolling your eyes, because I was like, but, you know, I just find it funny how you're trying to gaslight me. You know what I'm saying? But I held her. And hearing her say, Alethea, I really am sorry for what I've done. I could have cried right there on the spot. I'm getting emotional now just thinking about it. Because that woman she messed me up. And she had no idea of what I was going through at that time. But all I knew was that I was a joke to her for whatever reason, and I hated going to school because I knew that I had to deal with her. But I'm proud of myself because I held her accountable. I was not going to allow her to get away with that. I told her straight up what I thought. You were an asshole. You bullied me. And like I said, she kept trying to say, no, that wasn't the case. And I looked at her dad, cousin, boyfriend, whatever. I looked at him and I kept shaking my head like, no, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. And I knew he believed me. And she knew she couldn't get out of that. But when she apologized, that part of my trauma shattered. And she was like, yeah, don't roll your eyes at me. She's like, I'm really being genuine. And I just hugged her tighter. Because I can't imagine how hard that must have been to be called out on her shit by the person that you bullied. And it could have went south. She could have been like, girl, you know, it could have went south. But I commend her for accepting the accountability. She didn't do it in the beginning. But when she saw that I was standing firm, she had nowhere to go. And so it's situations like this. I pray that you have situations like that. To actually have the person that comes to you, or if you have a casual conversation, because here's the thing, a lot of times your abusers hopes and prays that you don't remember what they've done to you. So when you throw it back at them and let them know that it still affects you, please hold them accountable. But say it with grace. Like, you were an asshole. You put me through the ringer. So that they can sit back on that. And be like, dang. Yeah, I did. We're grown now. I apologize. Now, I can't even remember if I shuffled these all the way. But I never thought that I was going to experience that. And I really appreciate the universe giving me that opportunity to really dead that situation. Now, if I ever bump into her, I will look at her with the deepest respect because of the fact that she took it upon herself to apologize. And I thought about messaging her, like going on Facebook or something and trying to find her and then messaging her, but God was like, no, you ain't got to do all that. Let her sit with that. Is there an extra card in here that don't belong? Okay, I'm going to say because it felt weird, but yeah, he was like, let her sit with that. Alright, so we have the Queen of Cups. It doesn't matter what gender you are, okay? This is asking for you to be gentle with yourself. Balance yourself out. Be visionary. Dream. Don't let disappointments stop you from daydreaming. We're not going to get it right the first try. A lot of the attempts that we try to make on certain things, we got to understand that rejection is a form of divine protection. There she is, the Queen of Wands. Stand in your truth and be passionate about it. You have such an aura about you that is addictive. Even your haters have to admit that. There's something about you. And this is why they pulled what they pulled. Because you outshine their energy so much, it made them sick. I feel like the Queen of Swords is teaching you this time around to exercise more discernment. You'll be able to see the red flag, or yes, the red flags before anybody even says anything to you. You're learning to set those boundaries. No longer allowing people to have access to you. When you have too many cooks in the kitchen, it can get pretty chaotic in there. We have the Temperance. This is talking about alchemy again. I think that this is asking for you to take these dreams and these visions that you have for yourself and be patient, okay? Because as an alchemist, is going to require a lot of patience. If this is something that is beyond your control, but you have that attention and you're like, this is exactly what I'm going to try to pursue. I'm going to do the best that I can to pursue this. Just that intention alone. Setting up ideas on how to make this happen. You don't know how the universe is working, but I can confirm that it is working behind the scenes for you. And once you are supplied with the tangible, once the abstract from behind the scenes is done, then that's when you're going to move with that intention. Taking polar opposite energies, which makes sense here. Because your like it says, your your purpose is personal. Okay? You're going to be moving because of the fact that you're using that heartbreak, the betrayal, the trauma as your fuel to create something beautiful from that. Something that someone has never seen before. And we have the Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles is you starting off fresh. New possibilities aligning for you. This is someone that is taking a lot of notes. Saving money. Creating ways to make passive income. And being consistent. So I feel like this message is asking for you to be consistent in your growth. But first thing is first. You must understand that what you have been through is not who you are today. You received this inkling, this urge to step out your comfort zone because that breakthrough is right there in front of you. There is something that you have been wanting to do for so long, and it's just asking for you to just give it another thought. No more what ifs. Remember, when you are traveling, even though that card did not come out, come out. When you are traveling with the Six of Swords energy, we're not looking back. With this Four of Cups energy, we're going to stand up. We're going to kick those three bulls over, and we're going to peek around that tree and give that cup a chance. The universe is mental. You can do anything. You can do anything. All it takes is effort and confidence. Hype yourself up. You don't need someone to hype you up. This lesson is to teach you that when nobody has you, you got you. And that's what we have to understand. The way that the world is today, even with AI and some of these companies, like for example with YouTube, trust, or not trust, but honesty, they want to water that down so much. They want to feed you with a bunch of nonsense. No, you stand in your truth. Show these people how it's done. Now, before I close this reading out, I'm going to pull a card. I'm going to pull a couple cards. This is the Sacred Self-Care. And I just want to know, what is one thing that you can start doing as a form of self-care for yourself? For yourself, not anyone else. All of your intentions should, all of your intentions should solely focus on what you want. What do you want to do? What do you need to do to get these things off the ground? But first, there needs to be some type of ritual that you are doing at home so that you can become one with yourself. Retrain your brain to trust you. Because before, you were depending on outside influences to guide you. First card, ground yourself. Yes. Whenever you are experiencing some heavy energy, now I'm not trying to say that once you tap into this journey, all the negative energy is going to go away. No, I wish that that could be that way, but it's not. But what it is doing is helping you to understand that you are more in control than what you believe that you are. So, if a stressful situation happens, or let's say someone blames you for something that you know 100% you didn't do, but because of how loud their bark is, they just put all this energy out on trying to make you look like the bad guy or the bad girl. You take that and you immediately stand firm. You take breaths. If you need to hug yourself at that time, or whatever the case may be, but every word that they say trying to insult your intelligence and your integrity, you allow it to go down to, or you let it hit your crown. And then visualize pulling it all the way down to the soles of your feet. And take a deep breath and exhale it out. Understanding that you are one with the universe. If you don't want to do it in front of them, do it when you get home. Or take a bath. Or go somewhere close to nature. Whatever the case may be. But get away from all the exterior noise. You could do guided meditation. You could do Reiki. You can journal. You could do tarot. And ask the universe what it thinks of the situation. But one thing I don't want you to do is succumb to that. Okay? Flow like water. Yes. Understand that these things are temporary. And I'm listening to this as well. Nothing is permanent. Even the little nonsense that they're trying to project onto you. Even your desires, they too are temporary. But the goal is to do as much as you can while you're still breathing. But yes, wash away all that toxicity, or at least do your best to do so. And just move with the flow. Don't let it stop you. As a matter of fact, if they try to talk smack or whatever, but like, you know what? I'm really angry. I'm going to ground myself, and then I'm going to create. Thank you for the fuel. Because now I got something to create. Okay. Now, this says pleasure. You know what that means. But we're adults here. That is a form of self-love. And I love that pleasure came out instead of sex. Because I feel like, especially for those that are celibate or whatever, have moments where you are treating yourself like the way you would want a future partner to love you. Make love to yourself. Learn about your body. But I feel like with this, if you give yourself that attention, take time out to compliment your body. Look in the mirror and focus on every flaw that you deem as unattractive. And transmute that. I want you to start complimenting yourself. I don't care if you have saggy boobs. Compliment how full they are regardless. Because maybe your boobs are sagging because of the fact that you don't have enough money to, get a supportive bra. That could be the reason. And even if it is age, so what? We're not going to be youthful physically all of our lives anyways. We can mentally and spiritually. We got to let that go. But there also, put it out there, I mean, you can do some setups or whatever, but that's neither here nor there. I want you to start talking to yourself the way that your dream person would talk to you. Talk to yourself as though you are the most beautiful person you have ever seen. And the more you do this, the more that your ears hears this. And you'll have moments where your ego will try to deflect it. But like, girl, why are you talking to? Because this is a form of self-love. Thank you, ego. Go sit down. That's what you have to do. But yes, this will align your chakras. And then the third one is make a meal. I mean, the overall energy, make a meal. For those that love to cook, I think that you should go the distance. You want to put your recipes out there, then do so. Put your intentions into your recipes. You know how they say that Granny's cooking was made by love? This is you. Fuel the soul with nourishing eats, as I say to my children. You know what I mean? Create a meal that feeds the soul. So don't be trying to go out and get McDonald's and stuff like that. No. Create a wholesome home-cooked meal. Do everything with intention. Let your eyes visualize the way that you're cutting each vegetable. Listen to the sounds. When you rinse it off, I'm doing it backwards, but when you rinse it off, listen to the sound of the water. Take in that sound. That's grounding. Most importantly, it's a form of creation. You're doing this with love. Because I highly doubt that you're going to make anything just to bring you down, right? No, you're not. I love this. I love when the energy and the universe is on point. Look at this. Let me bring it down so you can see that. Maybe. Hold on. There we go. Reclaim your power. Nobody's going to do this for you. But real quick, like I was saying, like, listen to the sounds of the water. Smell the aroma of the food. Take all that in. You created that. And I want you to do that with everything that you touch, even if it is yourself. You touch yourself with an intention. When you're cooking food, you do that with intention. If you're creating a tarot deck, you're doing that with intention. If you're writing a speech or you're writing your next episode for your podcast, you're doing this with intention. And you're not doing it just for, you're not doing it for everyone. You're just doing it just to do it. So we have reclaim your power, and it says, forgive me because I didn't even read that. It says, do not give your power away to anyone. Say to yourself, I am strong and capable. I can approach this situation with, there's that magical word, confidence and skill. Yes. We're going to put faith on the back burner. Because that is an old-fashioned term for confidence. So, in either way it goes, if you don't have faith, you don't have confidence. If you don't have confidence, you're not going to have faith. They both go hand in hand. The next one says, let yourself receive support. It's often easier for empaths to give than to receive. Allow others to support you. Experience the pleasure of their caring energy. Get out and mingle. Meet new people. Or allow those that are trying to reach out to you to connect with you. Let them be close to you. I also want to put out there for content creators. Again, do everything with intention. Ultimately, it's just to do it for the sake of doing it. Because you're sharing your gift. So yes, in a way you can say it's for you. But I want you to step into your power to the point to where you're like, you know what? I'm going to put this out here because this is the right thing to do. Or this is the vibe that I'm feeling. I'm going to put this out here and whoever needs it, boom, you're welcome. If that makes sense. That's what I'm saying. So with saying that, don't hold yourself back because you think that a particular topic is going to be boring. And damn sure do not listen to YouTube. I just told you that they want you to lie. They want you to be inauthentic. They want you to create clickbait worthy content. Because all they care about is the algorithm. No. Do everything with purpose. The third card says, quiet your mind. Overthinking a problem is not the key to any door. Take a deep breath, or take a few deep breaths to still your inner chatter. Let yourself just be for a while. What this means, to start this routine, give yourself, hi there, Birdie, how are you? Give yourself 15 minutes before you jump on social media or allow your phone to ring. Sit in peace. Allow yourself to feel how you're feeling at that present moment. Are you tired? Why could that be? Is your mattress uncomfortable? Like, anything could happen. But just take the time to focus on your hyper awareness at that time. But most importantly, decide when you're going to give yourself to the world. It's a dog eat dog world out here. It is very rare to see compassion and kindness anymore, because everyone is fueled with competition, algorithm driven purpose. Oh, I love this. And I see this card right here too, and pull that. It says, release fear. Stop inventing scary stories about the future. Stay in the now and affirm your strengths. Remember that what I was saying about the Six of Swords. Don't get scared. Don't let your ego make you feel like you got to jump out that boat. No. You keep looking forward. Don't look back, because there's nothing back there. Set limits with draining people. And as you can see what's in the palm of their hand? No. No is a complete sentence. You do not deserve to be used as a working mule. You have a future to build, and it is not meant for you to build somebody else's future. Choose you. So it says, when people are depleting you, kindly set a limit, such as, I only have 10 minutes to listen. Such self-care is respectful and empowering. You have to teach people how to respect you. And if they refuse to respect you in that regard, then guess what? They ain't your people. And they can't come with you in the future. And you have to be okay with that. We have to get comfortable with understanding that this world does not evolve around us, but instead it is going to evolve with us. We have to take it upon ourselves to continue to grow as this world shifts, and learning to strive how to adapt to such changes. But what I do know is, as of right now, you are going through a breakthrough. So those fears that you were holding on to, that feeling that you just can't seem to let it go, this is telling you right now, let it go. You've been holding on to it for way too long. Let it go. Hug yourself every time it comes back. Or if you got to do tally marks, For every time you overthink it, like let's say that you was on a 10-day streak and all of a sudden a thought or a fear consumed you. It's okay because those things are going to happen. Well, then you need to start the streak over again. Keep doing that until you're like, all right, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this holding me back. I cannot advance to the next part of my journey until I let this go. If that's what you have to do, so be it. But what I do suggest is do not try to touch anything when you're in, when that lack of, or that mindset of lack returns. Because you're not going to think that you're good enough anyway. So you might as well just heal that immediately. Reclaim your power. It doesn't stop there. You're going to have boo-boos along the way. We're not going to sit here and act like this is going to be smooth sailing, because it's not. But I want to say this before I go, because I'm pretty sure I went over my limit. You are so loved. There are people out here that just thinks the world of you. And just because you don't hear them say that does not mean that they are not thinking it. Let me tell you that. You could be having a conversation and then out of the blue they will confess what they thought. I've always looked up to you. I just didn't want to say anything. And that's just, I don't know, maybe they thought that they would be too cheesy on that. But do understand that I want you to move as though the world isn't watching. And that you already have a pre-recorded audience with everything that you do. Not because they're watching you, but because of the fact that they see you in that moment. Claim that moment like it's already happened. That the naysayers are shocked as hell when they see this and this and this has happened. They're going to be fit to be tied like, oh my God, okay, I guess. I'm sure she didn't have no help. He didn't have no help. I remember when I was younger, and I went to a friend at the time. We're no longer friends, but she was graduating to get her GED. So I went, and I saw it was my ex-boyfriend's brother. He was up there amongst those individuals. And even though I was in the back, it was like he was looking at me, judging me. Like, yeah, you used to talk about me. You didn't think I was going to amount to anything, but here I am. It may not be a diploma, but I got my GED. What do you have? Ooh, when I tell you that burnt me up. That burnt me up. It was like I was having a back and forth match with him. Like, you think you're better than me? I'll show you. So I took my jealousy of him and I did the thing. I got my GED. And I had to tell him. He just started laughing. He was like, well, I'm glad that I inspired you. Heck yeah, you did. Maybe that's what's going to happen to your individuals that be trying to hate on you. They're going to be so mad that you succeeded and made it look so good, they got to have that for themselves. Not off of piggybacking off of you, but just seeing you do the thing. Okay? So, the universe is mental. Write that down. Look that up. What does that mean to you? And throughout this video, if there were things that I said that you feel like it resonates and maybe you need some more insight on that, do the research. The only thing that I'm doing is showing you what God is, or the universe is wanting us all to do. And it's not just for you, it's for me too. Okay? So if you appreciate this reading, give a thumbs up. Support this channel by subscribing and dropping comments down below. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much. Bye.